All right, so show the College Board things they've never seen before. How will you showcase the magic in your ideas and technique? So obviously they're looking for originality, okay? It's not something that you just get, come on in. It's not something that you just take from the internet as a photograph and then copy frame for frame so that you have something that looks real. That's not really what they're interested in. They're looking for good understanding of design principles, and they're looking for a good understanding of the media that you're using and also your personal vision. Never settle for anything less than your absolute best in everything, and that's true. This is college level work, and so you're really going to be assessed as a college student, as if you were competing against freshmen in college. So you have to do better work than you're accustomed to doing, so you can't just slap things together and turn them in.
I think that also goes along with your subject matter that you choose to work with. So that includes a higher level thinking subject matter, a higher level quality of material, a higher level quality of work. Everything needs to be higher level. But we'll talk a little bit, I mean, that's a lot of pressure on you guys, but we'll talk a little bit more about how we'll get through this together, kind of as a team. And we want you guys to feel like it's okay to fail though. It's not always, it has to be, this is 100%, it has to be perfect all the time. Sometimes you guys don't learn unless you guys create and you fail. So you can learn from that and make something better out of it.
And this next issue is about critiques, and we do weekly critiques, and that actually kind of speaks to what Mrs. Stanich was just saying. The critiques are an opportunity for your classmates to give you feedback about the work that you're producing. And it's a chance for you to improve the work, and it really works. I mean, this, I think more than anything, what distinguishes the AP program from the other art programs is that the critiques help students grow, and it's each other. It's much more about you guys being honest and looking at things objectively and helping your classmate along than it is about anything that we can really teach you. Okay, so never stop thinking about how to improve your portfolio. This is, you know, this is obviously true, but if it means that you're going to be wringing your hands and changing your ideas every week, that's not what we're talking about. You need to come up with an idea of what you're going to follow through with and then start to follow through with it. It's about the individual projects. How can I improve this composition right here? Does it need something in the background? Is it balanced? Does it have a good feeling of space? Am I using enough value? That kind of thing. Not like, oh my gosh, this whole concentration sucks and I'm going to pitch it out and try a different one.
Which as artists, we tend to change our minds quite a bit. We're never satisfied, so.
It happens a lot.
And you gotta keep moving, you gotta keep on track.
It totally happens
Yeah.
a lot. A lot of people get very unsure about their
Yeah.
concentration.
Yep.
And we're expecting that people may want to change their mind when they start school, once they kind of have more guidance and a better understanding of what the concentration is. But you have to settle on one really early because you don't have much time. So this is about exercising your creative muscle. So this is just more about just trying to see the world as an artist, trying to see the art in just everyday things around you. So yeah, the College Board gives college credit for these portfolios if they're good enough. So if you get a score of 3 or better, you are going to be assigned college credit for that. Depending on the school that you go to, you can get any number of points for that college credit. So like SAIC, for instance, for a score of 3, they will give you three credits. If you get a score of 4 or 5, they'll give you 6 credits. So that's a pretty big chunk of change down the road, and it absolutely feels great once you finish the portfolio, turned it in, and gotten a number back that's 3 or better. You're gonna really be happy. All right, so this is about, what I'm gonna show you here is a bunch of examples, and this is about how you can change and grow and improve over the course of this year. This was something from the early part of this year from Ryan Stilgrave. This is something that was in his final portfolio, as was this, as was this. That's a scratch board. I don't know if any of you guys have tackled scratch board before, but it's hard. And it's a nice composition. So that's how much he's improved just this year, and that's not counting last year. He did this as a junior too. So you have to think through your concentration. At the start of the school year, you're going to be getting a piece of paper called a concentration declaration that you'll get points for, and what that piece of paper is doing basically is explaining to us what your idea is and where you're heading with it. You're going to have a contract, which you guys already have. It came in the packet, so when you guys come back to school, you're going to bring the signed contract by both you and your parents. The 5 pieces that you were assigned over the summer, I strongly recommend that you attempt to tackle them. This is the 3 Ryans, guys. These are also alumni. When you start school, you're going to start working in earnest on your portfolio. You're going to have, for those of you that are not 3D, which I don't think any of you are, right? Okay. For those of you that are 2D or drawing, you're going to have a requirement of 24 pieces of artwork, and 12 of them will be breadth, and 12 of them will be concentration. You're going to have to also shoot digital images of that work and edit those images and then upload them to the College Board website. You're going to submit your portfolio it's usually like the first Friday in May, maybe the second Friday, but it's a Friday. All right, so here are some rules that you have to remember. You don't grid it, don't grid the work. No reproducing published photographs or works of art, and that means like anything that's on the internet, guys. Anything that's on the internet is published work. So if you are inspired by something that you see there, that's awesome, that's great. But it needs to significantly change from what you saw on that screen to what you're producing on the page.
I think something too you guys need to think about as you're trying to come up with ideas. I think one of the hardest things is creating and coming up with original ideas, and what are you doing for your composition, what subject matter you're going to have in there. Yes, it's great to be inspired by other artists, it's great to be inspired by images that you see, but what I would suggest that you guys do instead of taking those images too, I mean, yes, you can, drastically alter them, but be your own reference. You guys all have cameras, and you guys or phones with cameras on them. You guys can take pictures of anything, whether you're inspired by texture, whether you're inspired by a pattern, whether you're inspired by just a composition. Let's say anywhere you are, I mean, we talked about trying to find compositions and ideas. Anywhere you are, you constantly should be thinking kind of more like an artist. For example, driving in the summertime, you have your window down, and you have your hand out, and there's a reflection in the mirror. Maybe that might be kind of neat. You can see the passing by, landscape, and you can see a cool reflection, and it might, I'm just thinking of ideas. You can always just snap a picture, do something, carefully, don't do it while you're, somebody else have it. But I'm just saying, you need to have ideas of, as you're thinking of these things, hey, this would be a really good reference, this could be a good image, this could be a good composition, this could go with what I'm thinking about. And if you use it, great. If you don't, you don't. But you've got a lot of ideas. So be your own photographer, be your own reference person. So take pictures of everything and build up your reference catalog, kind of like your own little library, so you don't constantly have to rely on the internet. Which
is not to say that you're needing to work from photography. You can work from life as much as possible. That would be great. So if you're just starting to build up your portfolio, and you are, because it's the summer before you're taking the class, you can set up still lifes for yourself at home, or you can sit in your front yard and draw the tree, or you can sit back on your curb and look at your house and practice your architectural drawing. There's working from life is as important as anything else that goes into growing as an artist. So we want to see you guys doing that as well. Okay?
which is something we lack, of. We always tend to go very flat with photography, so yeah, I think that's a great point.
And there's no cramming, you guys understand that, a big problem in the past with AP students is they tend to believe that, as long as they get it in, it's fine, and they don't have to even start addressing the issue until a week before I'm doing the portfolio check. And then they turn in a bunch of stuff that you wouldn't even turn into a drawing 1 teacher. You wouldn't even turn into your visual arts 1 or 2 teacher, There's things that you might have done as a sketchbook for those classes, because we all know how people do their sketchbooks too, but that's not going to be acceptable here, and you're not going to pass. I mean, you're going to be graded at a much higher level of expectation. So it's got to look like you actually spent time on it. We can tell.
Yeah.